I will start my reading practice from the book Effective Public Speaking by Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie is famous for his book How to Win Friends and Influence People. Here I start. Must the opening then be heavy footed, elephantine, and excessively solemn? Not at all. Tickle our risibilities if you can by some local reference, something anent the occasion or the remarks of some other speaker. Observe some incongruity, exaggerate it. That brand of humor is 40 times more likely to succeed than stale jokes about Pat and Mike or a mother in law or a goat. Perhaps the easiest way to create merriment is to tell a joke on yourself. Depict yourself in some ridiculous and embarrassing situation, then get down to the very essence of much humor. The Eskimos laugh even at a chap who has broken his leg. The Chinese chuckle over the dog that has fallen out of a second story window and killed himself. We are a bit more sympathetic than that, but don't we smile at the fellow chasing his hat or sleeping on a banana skin? Almost anyone can make an audience laugh by grouping incongruous ideas or qualities as, for example, the statement of a newspaper writer that he hated children, tribe, and Democrats. Note how cleverly Rudyard Kipling raised laughs in this opening line to one of his political talks in England. He is retelling here not manufactured anecdotes but some of his own experiences and playfully stressing their incongruities. My lords, ladies, and gentlemen, when I was a young man in India, I used to report criminal cases for the newspaper that employed me. It was interesting work because it introduced me to forgers and embezzlers and murderers and enterprising sportsmen of that kind. Sometimes, after I had reported their trials, I used to visit my friends in jail when they were doing their sentences. I remember one man who got off with a life sentence for murder. He was a clever, smooth speaking chap and he told me what he called the story of his life. He said, take it from me that when a man gets crooked, one thing leads to another until he finds himself in such a position that he has to put somebody out of the way to get straight again. Well, that exactly describes the present position of the cabinet. This is the way William Howard Taft managed a bit of humor at the annual banquet of superintendents of the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. The beautiful part of it is this: he is humorous and pays his audience a gracious compliment at the same time. Mr. President and gentlemen of the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company, I was out in my old home about 9 months ago and I heard an after dinner speech there by a gentleman who had some trepidation in making it, and he said he had consulted a friend of his who had had a great deal of experience in making after dinner speeches. That friend advised him that the best kind of audience to address as an after dinner speaker was an audience intelligent and well educated but half tight. Laughter and applause. Now, all I can say is that this audience is one of the best audience I ever saw for an after dinner speaker. Something has made up for the absence of that element that the remark implied, and I must think it is the spirit of the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. Do not begin with an apology. The second egregious blunder that the beginner is wont to make in his opening is this: he apologizes. I am no speaker. I am not prepared to talk. I have nothing to say. Don't, don't. The opening words of a poem by Kipling are: there are no use in going further. This is precisely the way an audience feels when a speaker opens in that fashion. Thank you. That's it for the day.